Golf's a tough game, and for most of us it's not about perfect swings or tall level ball striking. It's about hitting solid, finding the green and having more fun out there. This series is all about you, the average golfer, and helping you build the most forgiving golf bag in 2025. Clubs that make golf easier, more consistent and more enjoyable. Right, before we go anywhere, here's a quick question. I want you to be really honest. Which out of these two irons would you rather play? The one that looks good or the one that helps you play better golf? And be honest. You see, today's video is finding the most suitable irons to make the game more forgiving, more enjoyable, more fun. Ultimately will lead to lower scores, lowering your handicap, and all round, like I said, just making this game a whole lot easier. And the one thing we're going to need to do is drop that ego. Now let's be honest, not many of us are compressing irons like we see tour pros, but most of us will want to play the irons that we see tour pros play. And if you put those two pictures up in front of me, I'd go towards the blade. I love a club that looks good first and foremost, and perhaps the club I should be using I don't go towards simply because of my ego, which seems to be a theme in the whole of this series. How nice is that? No effort required. Nice and easy, iron down the middle of the fairway. It's a great feeling. It's played with a club that is, well, it's helping me. It's not working against me. And it's one of those ones that I would turn my nose up at. But this is all about finding the ultimate bag, the forgiving bag for an average golfer. And these irons are certainly something you need to start to consider. Go, go, go. Oh, it's bouncing. We're on the green, we're a long way from the flag. Reality, that's what golf is all about. And I got that a little bit off the toe as well. Still managed to launch the ball high and made very much the most of the forgiveness that this type of club gives me, which is often not what you're getting in your current set of irons. Too often we choose our irons based on how they look, how compact they are, what that top line looks like. But forgiveness is all about what happens with that type of shot, and it's certainly not delivered by how good a golf club looks or not. So we well and truly made it safely onto the green, and I'm not sure that would have happened if we'd have had that blade in hand. Forgiveness certainly helped me, but I talked about sound and feel as being a compromise that has to be made, and that was something maybe 5 years ago from now would have been true. But there's a big change in the way clubs are put together nowadays. Sound and feel in the modern day game improvement iron has improved significantly, and it's not to be dismissed, and it's not a consideration anymore in my opinion. You can find a set of clubs that have all the attributes that are going to help you that I'm going to talk about in today's video without compromising in terms of sound and feel. All products featured in this series are from Vice Golf, and the irons featured are the VGI02 and are available for only £487 for a set of 5 irons, which shows golf can be affordable if you look in the right places. If you visit the Vice Golf website now, you can sign up and be the first in line for exclusive access to Black Friday deals. And even if you fancy yourself as a little bit of a player and want to flight the ball a bit different, then still with a game improvement type iron, that is plenty doable. That felt so good, and it's right on the flag. I've got the yardage. Oh, that could have gone in. I think that's actually gone in the hole. We'll check that later, but that stuck one bot and disappeared. I think that's probably in the bottom of the cup. Not part of the plan, but still shows you that good shots can be hit with game improvement irons. This is the VG021 from Vice, and it's a typical type of iron that I would put in that player's distance game improvement type category that can help a huge amount of golfers. What makes a game improvement iron stand out? What makes it different? Well, it's often the things we've been led to believe that aren't for the better player. So it's the wider sole, it's the thicker top line, and it's overall just a little bit of a chunkier profile. You also might see a bit of offset in there as well. But all those things are going to help majority of golfers. And if we shove our ego to one side, we perhaps might realise that more of us should go into this type of iron. And this is why all these attributes help you become a better golfer. Well, first of all, the bad news is it didn't go in. It doesn't make a great deal of difference, but we came from that direction, directly behind the camera lady, and it would have disappeared from view. We've pitched here and fizzed it back so it's invisible from where I am. That's my excuse anyway, but like I said, irrelevant. But what it does show, again, although we're on softer greens, that the idea that clubs don't spin in the way they should do, because these are stronger lofted, again, is perhaps a little bit of a myth. We were 170, a little bit down breeze as well there, so interesting to see that ball has popped back a little. But why do those attributes help? Well, that thicker and wider sole generally helps with turf interaction. It'll also help with them being able to place the CG, the manufacturer that is, a little bit further back, which is going to help you launch the ball a bit higher. It's a hollow bodied iron. That thicker top line allows that, we'll call it a cavity, hollow bodied. They're generally injected with some kind of magic, again, which will help you with ball speeds. So all those elements are helping you. They're all working for you, and that little bit of offset that I talked about will often be the majority of golfers, the vast majority of golfers, hit, I'm going to call it a fade, but in reality it's a slice, and that slice needs a little bit of help, and that offset will help negate that. So there are a number of reasons, first and foremost, why you need to start leaning towards these irons if you really want to start looking at lowering your handicap. So that's a club type, it's a genre, and this club from Vice does it incredibly well. One of the other things that if we went back 5 or 6 years, you would perhaps struggle with the aesthetics of a club. They weren't the best looking. But if you take, again, this is a prime example, just how good is this to have in the bag. This is a super good looking club. It feels great and performs exceptionally well. So we've got no reason, from a number of ticks we were looking at early doors, to go towards the blade, because we can find all those attributes in an iron like this from Vice. Oh, that felt so good. A little bit of draw on it. That's a 6 iron. Interesting enough, it's the longest iron that I have in my bag, and we'll get to that very, very shortly. But there's one other thing that you need to consider when you're choosing your set of irons if you really want to make them as forgiving as possible, and that's the shaft choice. For too long I've been in sort of heavier weight stiff shafts, which mean I've got to swing the club fairly quickly, and if I want to take things easy, then the shaft will perhaps work against me. What I want to do is step up on a tee, and I want to feel as though I can swing at sort of 75-80% and get the full control and performance out of a club head. And to do that, we need to start looking at lighter shafts. Perhaps consider graphite shaft as well, but also careful consideration to that flex of shaft. You need to get all those things right and then pair it with that game improvement head. And now we're seriously starting to move towards a set of golf clubs that's working for us and not against us. Ah, he's leaked it. Go, is he? Get there, get there. Stay hold. Oh. Well, last shot of the day has gone into a bunker, and we've also got a bit of rain that's paid a visit, so I'll make this final bit brief, but it's really important. And that is, where do you sort of finish in terms of your irons? We've really got what is the longest, strongest lofted in the bag. Hugely important that you don't get this bit wrong. As golfers, when we start to slow down a little bit, we're going to struggle to generate the relative club head speed to get the performance benefit out of longer irons. And usually that means being able to launch them high enough. So you'll end up with perhaps a 4 iron, a 5 iron, a 6 iron. They'll all do the same in terms of they'll carry the same distance. They're a waste of money and they're a waste of time in your bag, and they're filling a void that you could utilise with better performing clubs. Vice give you an option of buying 6-to pitching wedge, which is what I've got in the bag right now. More than enough for me. And the question is, where do you go next? Well, that's next week's episode. We're going to look at sort of hybrid and fairway wood options, and why they are so much more beneficial than longer irons in the bag for most average golfers. So that's me done, another episode of me trying to build the ultimate forgiving golf bag for average golfers. We've got a driver choice in the bag, and we've now got some irons in the bag, and we're understanding how we're putting this together. Next up, hybrids and fairway woods. For this video, what I'd ask you to do is hit the hype button, which I believe you've got now. Hit the like button, subscribe, and do all those other things to help promote this, and perhaps educate your fellow golfer, get that bag better working for them and not against them. As ever, thanks for watching. The rain's coming down, I'm going. I'll see you in a couple of days.